generation science standards are a set of standards across subjects, biology, physical sciences, earth sciences, and engineering that embody the big ideas that we want students in kindergarten through 12th grade to learn in science in school. There are three key features to the next generation science standards. The big ideas that I just mentioned, scientific practices, which are the behaviors that scientists engage in when they develop scientific knowledge, theories and models of natural phenomena, when they try to explain the world around us, and cross-cutting themes. The 1996 standards tried as best they could to push the agenda of engaging students in doing scientific inquiry. But to some extent, I don't think that was particularly successful, partly because the inquiry standards were sort of separate from the content standards. The next generation science standards are pushing for this intertwining of content and practices. So really emphasizing that what students should be doing in the classroom is learning the content via doing the scientific practices. When you develop knowledge through doing science, that is, when you develop these understandings by engaging in the scientific practice, when you come up with ideas, when you argue about these ideas, the knowledge that you develop is much sort of more powerful for you. It is more robust. It is more meaningful for the student. And it's much more likely to then be applied outside of school. Science is very creative. There's a lot of interpretive, creative thinking that goes into developing models and interpreting experiments, interpreting results. Kids in schools don't really engage much with this creative, interpretive thinking part of science. Much of what happens in school is more about procedure, is more about the skill of doing the experiment. We're trying to shift away from that, shift more towards the thinking, the creativity, the development of explanation, arguing about competing explanations in the classroom, just like it happens in science. These standards are ushering in sort of a new era in how we think about science education, how we should be teaching science education. If we want kids to build knowledge for themselves, they have to be a lot more active than some of them are currently in classrooms. Teachers are going to have to give up some of the control over to the students so that students can argue about ideas, argue about how to design an experiment, and develop knowledge within sort of the community of the classroom. Administrators are going to have to support this kind of new teaching in classrooms. We hope that this will help kids become more interested in science and feel the excitement of creating knowledge for themselves about how the world works.